I'm not sure what the rationale was to bring an Islamist nation with expansionist goals and a vision of creating a revised Ottoman caliphate into NATO to begin with, but if it ever made sense, it no longer does. It's time to expel Turkey from NATO, according to Israeli media al-Israel.com. It's generous to look at Turkey as a European, and they certainly have no connection to the North Atlantic, but Turkey certainly does threaten Europe. Turkey creates tension because it is the only NATO member with such broad expansionist goals, in Syria, in northern Africa, as well as its occupation of Cyprus, which is part of Europe. Turkey allowed a flood of millions of illegal migrants from Syria and elsewhere to transverse its borders and enter actual Europe. As a member of NATO, Turkey puts all NATO countries into a potential conflict due to its aggression, with each having the obligation to defend fellow NATO members. Aspiring to erase borders and threaten and control other countries, Turkey may suck all of Europe into a broader regional war. Recently, the possibility of a regional war has never been more real. Turkish fingerprints are all over the fall of the Assad regime in Syria by arming and supporting the jihadi terrorists that now control much of Syria. What would happen if Russia or Iran would seek to regain their lost influence by taking military action against Turkey? Would NATO members really need to defend that? What if Turkey's growing occupation of Syria puts its targeting of the US-backed Kurdish community in jeopardy and in the crosshairs of the US? Could it trigger a war by Turkey attacking US allies, in which the US is obligated under NATO to defend Turkey? What if the newfound Turkish influence in an occupation of Syria brings it to direct conflict with Israel, as Turkish President Erdogan had threatened multiple times and is now physically closer and able to implement through its Neo-Ottoman land bridge? Will NATO be forced to confront Israel if Israel were to attack Turkey to defend itself? Maybe this is all far-fetched, but who would have imagined several weeks ago that we'd wake up one morning and there would be no more Assad regime after half a century? Who imagined that Israel would be able to eliminate the majority of the Syrian military virtually overnight, land more than 100 troops deep into Syria to destroy an Iranian missile plant, or that one day thousands of Hezbollah terrorists would be disarmed, literally, by exploding beepers? Adding fuel to the threats that he's made against Israel for years, Turkish President Erdogan announced recently that Turkey's long-range missile capabilities are being strengthened, increasing the number of missiles with an 800 kilometers range along with missiles with a range of 2,000 kilometers. Erdogan has responded to Israel's war against Hamas by severing all ties with Israel, imposing a trade blockade on Israel last April. Doubling down, Turkey joined South Africa's accusation of Israel for allegations of genocide at the International Court of Justice. For all these and other reasons, whether it's expelling Turkey from NATO or scrapping NATO and creating NATO 2.0 excluding Turkey, the status quo cannot remain. The remaining wildcard is whether President Trump recognizes Turkey's growing dangerous influence and can and will act on it. Hopefully the answer is yes.